I'm here with Nathan Rose, best-selling author of equity crowdfunding, and we're here to talk about how you decide in your business whether you should quit or persevere. And tell us a bit about that, Nathan. I know that's a topic on the top of your mind right now.
Yeah, sure. So my business helps out startups who are looking to do equity crowdfunding campaigns. Last year in November, I released a book, Equity Crowdfunding, the complete guide for startups and growing companies. And the launch went really well. I think I was expecting it to be a step change in my business, because you hear a lot of authors out there who have released a book and that becomes the big thing that catapults them to the next level of authority. But you have the expectations and then you have the reality, and sometimes the reality doesn't match those expectations. So like now that I've been 18 months into it, I'm looking around and considering whether I'm really spending my time in a market which is big enough, or spending my time in the right ways within this market, and looking at like completely different business opportunities which are out there. So it's a difficult decision to make, but I guess that's part of being an entrepreneur, making these difficult decisions under uncertainty.
Yeah, and I think all entrepreneurs have been in that position that, when you first start a business, it may not, most businesses don't start off with $1 million of income and profit rolling in immediately. Usually you have to go through some work to build a business up. So how do you distinguish between that initial growth phase and just deciding that really this opportunity wasn't as good as you thought it was?
Right. And I think during that initial growth phase, you're perhaps more willing to take the knocks, but you can't just spend years and years taking knocks. Eventually, you've got to make some money too. And my business has made money.
Right.
It's supported me over the last 18 months, but it's more the case of whether it's the best use of my time, whether I'm doing it the right way or something big to shift.
Yeah. Okay. So if it's okay with you, let's start off by just connecting to the light, because that will make all the work we do easier. And I think you've seen that in the book I wrote, right?
Right.
Is this new to you, or you've seen it before, I hope?
Remind me.
So if you just, I'm going to walk you through it. So just close your eyes for a moment and take your consciousness up a few thousand miles to where you can feel truth and light and love, a pure Nathan, your higher self, and bring that down through the top of your head, through your throat, through your chest, through your stomach and abdomen, through your hips and legs and feet, and go down, 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 through the earth, down to the center of the earth, and connect with the energy of support, acceptance, and understanding from the center of the earth, and bring that up through your feet, your legs, your hips, your abdomen, stomach, heart, throat, and head. So now you have light coming from above and below at the same time. And now expand your heart out as big as the room you're in, as big as the building, as big as the town, as big as the country, across the planet, as big as the solar system, the galaxy, and the universe. Okay, so that's how you can connect to the light. I call it To the Light Connect, which the acronym is TLC, which also stands for Tender Loving Care in America. Maybe in New Zealand too.
It sure does.
So, yeah, and notice how you feel having done that.
Yeah, I feel relaxed. I feel relaxed and calm would be the two things.
Yeah, so this is a good thing to do every day. It makes your day go better. In particular, if you're making a sales call, which I'm assuming you do. If you do this before you make the sales call, you're going to be calm and confident, and it's just not going to matter what the other person decides. If they're a fit for you and you get the sale, great. If not, next we'll just talk to someone else. So that's a good way to, because when you're making sales calls, not everyone's going to say yes, but it can be a bit of a downer if someone says no. So that's just a thing. Only took 30 seconds to do that. and it can make your sales calls go a lot better. I mean, my experience, it actually increases the amount of sales.
When you prepare with acceptance for the outcome, accepting whatever comes, whether it's a yes or a no.
Yeah, because you're connected to the light. You're as big as the universe. It's not, this individual sale doesn't matter.
Right.
You're okay with it, and then you don't come from a sense of desperation or all the other emotions we can get when we're doing sales. The other thing I do with sales is I visualize a cord of light going from my heart to their heart. So I connect myself to light, I connect them to the light. I mean, I don't tell them the steps to connect light. I just visualize them being connected. And then I connect my heart to their heart. And then they just feel a rapport with me. And you probably know in sales that, one of the keys to sales is having rapport with the other person, feeling connected with them. So this is an energetic way to achieve that.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we connected the light just now so we could work on your problems more easily and clear any issues. So you were asking, should you, quit this business or persevere? And also I'm wondering, is there a third option? You just kind of mothball it or put it on the back burner, and when sales come in, you collect, you do the work, collect the money, but you don't spend a lot of time on it. Is that a third option?
There's even a fourth option, which is just to change the business quite radically from how I've been doing things. So
you could pivot somehow to a different variety of business.
Yeah, not to just throw everything away, because there's real work that's been done there and real relationships that have been built, a real email list, quite tangible things. But it's
plus you're famous, a best-selling author.
Yes, sure, absolutely. It's it's a great feeling and it's a great accomplishment. So
yeah, congratulations.
It might be a case of just taking a big step back and asking, if we get so tied up in doing the same things every day in routine and habit, sometimes you've got to question those habits.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very brave of you and conscious. So let's look at those four options, and let's also look at a fifth option, which is something else you don't consciously know right now. And let's just try a few different techniques to see if we can figure out which is going to bring you the most joy and profit. So if you can just put your hand out in front of you and imagine quitting this business, just totally closing it down, and that option's in your hand, okay? And you bring that to your heart. Bring your hand to your heart with that option and notice how your heart feels.
I don't want to do it.
What do you feel in your heart? I get you don't want to do it.
It feels empty, but I think...
Empty, okay.
Yeah. I think it would be an admission of defeat. It would be... I think a lot of us have a lot of identity that is tied up with our business, right? So just removing that part of you and removing it completely, it's like losing a limb in some ways, and it'd be hard to do. But I don't want to do it. I guess the overriding emotion.
No. Yeah. Okay. So you feel defeat, emptiness, loss of identity. So what about persevere? Let's hold your hand out in front of you again and imagine persevere being in there, and bring that to your heart and notice what you feel in your heart.
If we're thinking about persevere as in persevere the same way I've been doing things, I would say boredom and frustration.
Okay.
Yeah, because continuing, it's like Einstein who said the definition of an idiot is someone who keeps doing the same thing and expects a different result.
Yeah. Another thing Einstein said, if he had a big problem to solve, he'd spend 59 minutes figuring out the question and one minute answering it. So maybe we need to find the right questions to ask.
Right.
Okay, well, let's try the other options. Okay, so put your hand out in front of you. Imagine mothballing the business. So it's on the back burner. It's still ticking over. You know, if something changes in the future, you can start it back up strongly again. But you could spend most of your time creating something else.
Mm.
Put that to your heart. What's your heart feel like on that?
I mean, similar emotions perhaps to the first one, where I feel like mothballing it and just closing everything down are kind of similar. Only the closing everything down option is more permanent, right?
So
Maybe
it's a bit like the difference between euthanizing someone and putting them in an old folks' home.
Right. So in some ways, there's a similarity there. In both cases, you're not giving it the energy and attention.
It's just slower.
Right.
Right.
It's just slower.
Okay, well, let's go to the fourth option, which was pivot. Oh, go ahead.
I'll say one more thing. I will say one more thing, that maybe the close it all down option has one thing in its favor, and that you've actually made a conscious decision, that you've really burnt your bridges, burnt your ships behind you, and there's a bit more excitement because now you do have to create something new. So I think, continuing on the way it's going or mothballing it, it's, again, there's similarities there. There's like some overlap between these feelings. Just continuing or just mothballing it would both be a bit boring. Yeah, I feel like it would be a chance of renewal if you close everything down.
Right. Yeah, you get closure.
So the fourth option.
Ready was pivot, yeah? So let's put that in your hand and bring that to your heart, pivoting.
Yeah, I mean, this is the feeling that I think I should do, is to change something up. I don't know whether this is my conscious mind doing this.
What emotion do you feel there?
I mean, I feel more excited. I feel that I can use what I've done. I feel invigorated. Not so much closure as the first option, but I feel like it's the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and let's look at the fifth option. Mm-hmm. So that's something else you don't consciously know so far. Okay, and just bring that to your heart. And what do you notice with that?
I mean, maybe I'm a very left-brained person, but I don't really feel anything. If I haven't thought of it, I haven't thought.
Feeling nothing is fine.
Yeah, I'm afraid not.
Yeah, it's just an option to put out there. Yeah, because sometimes when we're making a decision, there are things that haven't even occurred to us, and it's good to know whether there's something there. If you'd got excited, then we want to dig into that further. So having done this little heart decision exercise, do you feel you got some more info? Because initially you talked about quit or persevere, but now you're looking at pivoting.
Right. So I guess that is, in a way, persevering, but quitting at the same time. It's quitting with one strategy, but persevering with.
I love it. Yeah.
And maybe this fifth option is something I can even talk to now that I think about it, and it's that it doesn't have to be an either or. Maybe that was a false dichotomy, quit or persevere. That maybe you can start a new business while persevering with the old one.
Right. Many people do that.
Many people do that successfully.
Yeah. They have a consulting business, and then they have a product or a SaaS business that they do, and they use consulting to fund the SaaS business, and or whatever the businesses are.
Right. Yeah. It's like you don't really learn until you've tried something.
Right.
So maybe the insight is that you don't try to guess beforehand what's going to do it. Just take action and see what the results are.
Yeah, take some action, preferably action that doesn't have a large cost consequence if it doesn't work out.
Right. Yeah.
But that would be the whole 7-day startup thing, do the validation first, and then spend money building it out.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So let's have a look at this another way. I want you to imagine that there's another copy of Nathan sitting on a stage on a chair, and the chair is facing another chair on the stage. You're looking at it from the side. Okay. And in that other chair is your business. Okay. So imagine there's it's like a person representing your business in effect. Okay. And then what do you notice about these two people? Are they looking at each other? Do they have feet? Do they have heads?
Yeah, I'm imagining them both as people.
Yeah.
I can only imagine myself as myself.
Yeah, but are you looking at this other person?
Yeah. I'm looking
at the
other
person. You're looking at the whole.
I'm looking at the whole scene, so I'm looking at myself, looking at my business.
Yeah, there's two copies of you. There's you. Yeah, there's the observer you, and then there's the you sitting in the chair on the stage. So we're asking, what's the you sitting in the chair doing? What's he looking at?
He's looking at the business. He's looking at the person that is the business, and he's looking towards the audience. Yeah, maybe his attention isn't completely focused on the business as much as it could be.
Does he have feet?
Yes. He's just a copy of me.
Yeah. Does the business have feet?
Yes.
Anything you notice about the business person?
It's kind of uncertain. It's kind of like thin and pale looking.
That's interesting. What does that intuitive information mean to you?
That it's sick, that it hasn't been given enough attention.
Okay. What's the uncertainty in it about?
I'm thinking of it like a kid who doesn't know where he's going. Like someone whose path in life is a bit uncertain. Asking
not
why
clear
am I
where
here?
he's going.
Yeah.
Why is that business here on this planet at this time?
Well, it's to serve me and to serve my customers in the alternative finance space, right? To help people build startups to fund their dreams, but also to give me the life that I deserve. Okay. I suppose that's really the life I deserve, the life I want to live more, right? I started this business so that I could travel the world and I could run it from anywhere, but perhaps I've been guilty of...
How's that working for the business? How's that working for the business, knowing why he is here?
I mean, the business feels like a slave. It's like servitude to this master that doesn't really care about its own growth.
Wow. Right. So would that perhaps explain why it hasn't been performing the way you want it to?
It could, sure. Yeah. And I think this is perhaps the advantage of having multiple founders, that they care about growing the business first and foremost, and they're less selfish about it. When you've got a solo founder, the solo founder is constantly making trade-offs between whether they want to work on the business today or whether they want to go to the beach, right? When you've got different shareholders, different people working on it, you've got more responsibility to let the business grow itself.
Well, that could be multiple founders, or it could be having, staff that work in the business that are committed to it. But I think the real thing is here, this business doesn't know why it's here. It's just, like you said, a slave to your income. It doesn't have how some businesses have a burning reason to be here. You know what I'm talking about? Like Tesla, for example, who makes those electric cars. I'm sure they have a very strong reason to be in business.
Yeah, there's a vision behind it, more than just giving Elon Musk enough to live on.
Yeah. So let's ask the business, what does it want to be here? What does it want to change?
I think it wants more attention. I think it wants to be taken seriously. I felt this a lot, and maybe I've shown personal resistance to it, that I can't do everything that the business needs to make it work. Like, I've got a certain skill set, which is finance, and am I really able to get good enough at SEO for this business to thrive? Am I really good enough am I really able to get good enough at web design? All these different things, which again, maybe with multiple founders would be easier, or with employees, spending some money on external contract providers. It feels like it needs to be invested in, perhaps. I've really spent nothing on it. Apart from my time. So
maybe that's why it looks thin, partly, and sickly, because it hasn't been given nutriment.
Yes.
But both on a practical sense and also in your energy sense, So let's just see yourself on the stage sending love and light to the business. You can connect it with love and light from above and below. And you can shine light from your heart to its heart. And what do you notice looking at it now?
I think it looks relieved, like a weight has been lifted from it. Maybe a expression on the face that everything will be okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't look.
Because you're sort of its father, really.
Right. I mean, it doesn't look healthier yet, but it looks more content.
Good. Well, what would it take for it to be healthy?
Yeah. I think I need to do more asking what my customers really want and less top down saying, here's what I'm going to provide.
Got it.
More research, being more creative as to how to deliver that to people, deliver value. And I think as well, I need a consistent way to source clients, because until now I've really relied on referrals rather than going out to get new clients myself or attracting them in some way. I hope that the book would have been able to do that, but
the book can do that, but you need to utilize it to do that. In other words, if you have someone who you think would be an ideal client for you, what if you just mailed them a copy of the book? It's like a business card, right? I mean, it's a $10 business card, or however much you have to pay for your books and shipping, but it would get their attention.
Right. Sure.
It would allow you to have a conversation with them.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Do you have a way to know you work with startups, so do you have a way to know when a startup's a good fit for your business?
Yes, I have a criteria in terms of revenue they're earning, stage they're at. Like, I have
hire could you hire a temporary, a part-time VA to go through a list of startups and pull out the ones that are potentially a good fit?
Yep, I could do that.
And then find out who the CEO is or the founder or whatever? Or could you buy a list from some company that targets startups? There's several of those out there, I think.
Yeah, there are these options. Sure. I think this is what I need to do. Yeah.
Or could you do one of those? Or could you do one of those penny book offers where you target the startups either through direct email or Facebook ads or whatever, saying get my book for a penny, but by the way, you have to pay $8 in shipping. So it comes out as a wash for you.
Yeah.
And then upsell them into something else. You've seen offers like that, right?
Right. And
Perry Marshall is good at those.
Yeah. Again, it's the which one of these to do, or which combination of these to do. I think maybe part of the frustration is that a lot of stuff has not worked. Like I've tried some social media.
So
go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, let's look at the joy and profit graphs of some different options. I mean, I think you have decided you want to pivot the business. But let's look at some of these different options, maybe hiring a VA to find potential clients, and then contacting them. So if you visualize a graph of the joy over time, what does that look like to you? Is it high joy level, low? We go up and down? Does it end after a certain time?
I feel like it goes up, but maybe it plateaus somewhere, that it gets to a certain level. And that could be because still this coaching is always linked to my time. So to really get the joy levels high and to help more people, it would, it can't be infinitely high. Yeah,
right.
Unless I'm creating more products, right?
What would it take for it to be infinitely high?
It would have to be products, or it would have to be a team which I built underneath me. And I guess the pipeline is at the moment too small to justify having someone working for me, and the margins don't seem to be there. So that's one thing, building a team. People have built agencies and crowdfunding. I've seen it done. And I don't feel like it's, again, this is me being the selfish founder here rather than what would serve the business. But I don't really want to have a full-time team as my ideal outcome. So I feel like it would have to be...
Well, let's imagine you have some kind of, let's assume you have some products or membership or something of that nature, online training, or whatever the thing is. And you've already got a book, so it would be very easy to create an online training just by creating slides from the book.
Right. And that's what I'm spending my energy
on right now. But whatever that thing is, how... Cool. Okay. So maybe if you find out what your customers want and are willing to pay for, then you can make that, whatever that thing you're producing is, something that would sell easily.
Yeah. And that's sort of where I've got to. That this book is being turned into a course, and then that becomes one vehicle for pivoting. I've got about 5 minutes left, by the way.
Well, that becomes an upsell to the book.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
So what would be most helpful for you?
What would be most helpful for me?
Yeah.
In terms of what? Sorry?
Having your business be healthy and successful.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I think it's to use this course as a vehicle for helping more people while finding more sustainable ways of selling my time too, as online coaching, to help people who need one-on-one assistance. So that's what's important for me.
So let's make that into a what would it take? What would it take for this course to help more people while selling coaching too?
It would be learning
with profit and joy for you on the end of it.
Yeah, like it would be figuring out areas which I've resisted up until now, areas like direct outreach marketing and Facebook ads, Google ads, all of these things that when I was selling the old consulting packages were really difficult to justify because it was always, again, tied to my time and I was always too busy, really. So when it's coaching, when it's courses, then actually selling more of that is something joyful. It's something good rather than just a burden, making myself more busy and more stressed.
Yeah, so it sounds to me like you have a bit of resistance about growing the business because you're afraid if it gets too successful, you won't have any time for yourself and you don't want to hire a team of people to run it. So maybe that was part of why you weren't giving the business your full attention because you were kind of scared to create a Frankenstein monster there.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And, I would still say that's an objective that, I mean, everyone wants to make money, but you don't also want to fall into the trap which I escaped from when I left the job, which was having heaps of money but no time. So, yeah, how to walk that tightrope.
Well, what would it take for you to have a healthy business and you have plenty of free time?
Yeah, I think I've outlined some of those things, and maybe making relationships with people too who have better skills. So when I said before that I feel like I need to hire this person, hire that person, get a better website, get better SEO, maybe the answer is more in partnerships, that I can create these things, but
Yeah.
there are people out there who are good at selling them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hopefully you learned some tools in this session.
Yeah, it was
I
helpful.
certainly encourage you to send light to your business and pay attention to how your business is looking, and you can certainly ask your business what it wants. And I think finding something that gives motivation for it to be alive, you need like so how does having this business alive make the planet a better place, And I think you're close to that, but you haven't quite reached that. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. How can I make
Something
it
like,
a bit more like a Tesla, something that the world's a better place for it existing?
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, we aren't Tesla, but we help the next Tesla come to life, or something like that.
Yeah. Very cool.
Or we help thousands of people with startup dreams to succeed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's objectively true.
Well, I know you have to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Michael.
Well, I really appreciate doing the session with you, Nathan. Yeah, if you need anything else in the future, let me know. And have a wonderful Wednesday there in New Zealand.
Thanks, Michael. Appreciate it for you too. Cheers.
Okay, bye.